I'm en route to Crater Lake. About a half an hour. I think I'm closer to an hour away. Dashboard camera's picking up views of the drive. It's greener, more wooded, more foresty than even Northern California. I mean, everybody knows that, right? I passed a motel on the way through whatever town this is I'm going through on the way to Crater Lake. And I started voicing some thoughts about those motels that I then went, oh, I should record that. So I'm admitting the rehearsal, I suppose. It's not those little out of the way motels, the ones on the roads that aren't chain, that are locally owned, look like they're locally owned. I'm sure I will get more out of staying in one of those than I do out of using the apps I've got and using a Roadway or a Super 8. And kind of last night's experience pushed me in that direction. So it's not that I know I'll get more out of it. My concern is that I'll get stuck between. I mean, I'll walk into one of them and go, what's your nightly rate? And it'll be more than I'm looking to pay. And so I will be trapped between paying a rate that's too high for my budget and turning around and walking out, which I consider rude. It isn't that, and then a secondary, it's not a concern so much. This is so pretty. Those little out-of-the-way, locally owned, non-chain motels remind me of the Bates Motel in Psycho. And that's not a concern. It's not that I'm scared that I'll check into one and have that experience. It's just the association. So it makes me wonder if I need to either clear that association out or just embrace it and enjoy it. I think it's probably the latter. But after my experience last night, I think it's time to move away from the apps and the chains and see if I can do something a little. I mean, this is funny going into after tonight. I'll be spending several days in Vancouver, Washington, which will probably be somewhere I've stayed before on an Airbnb. I can definitely look at that when I head for Seattle. Just doing it a little differently. Just everything is pushing. I mean, you pay attention to the things that happen and you let them adjust your approach to it all. I don't know. Life lessons, I suppose. There's something else in the quote-unquote rehearsal that I'm not remembering. Oh well, maybe it'll come back to me. Crater Lake. Peace. The other thing was how much I enjoy being around water. I think that shows up in my photography. I've taken a lot of panoramic pictures of bodies of water, whether it's a river or an ocean or a lake. And I really enjoy the beauty of the rivers and the streams that I've driven along. I really enjoy. I mean, yesterday was a little frustrating, and at points a little concerning, a little scary even. Getting blocked off by the snow on the mountain was a moment of, oh, this could be real bad. But also, that road, California 96, is the Klamath River Parkway. That's what it was labeled on the map. And the entire road went along the river, and so I was bummed out when it got dark because I couldn't see the water anymore. And there's something I find joyful and peaceful about. It's more flowing bodies of water than it is. Pismo was nice. I like the ocean, but I like rivers. Like right now, I'm driving alongside one. There's a river down there. I don't think you can see it. I don't think I'll be able to see it. Oh well. But this is something I really enjoy about flowing water. Maybe it's because I've spent most of my life in a desert, and so. But then again, I live near the Kern River, and I never really go out to see it. There we go. I just like that. There's something about that, about rivers. Can't really put it into words. I just really, so I think wherever I end up living, wherever I end up going, whatever I end up doing, I've got to have a relationship with body of water. I mean, I keep keep seeing those rivers, and thinking about the river rafting I did and how much I enjoyed that, and I might take that up. That's something I really liked. Might be time to get a jet ski, or at least have some experience with a jet ski. Maybe that'll happen on the trip. Find a lake that'll let me jet ski on it, or rent one or something. Oh well. Water. Peace. I'm at Crater Lake in Oregon. You know, prove it. There you go. Take some more pictures. I'll take it from different places. I started over there where those people are, and I hiked this. You call it a hike. It's not really a hike, it's a walk. But at one point in there, my foot sank in to the ankle, and at that point I realized the warnings not to go closer to the caldera are partly because of the way the snow is packed. I am standing on a tree. So the snow is this high, but you could just go down. And me being close to 300 pounds, and I am under 300 pounds right now, I'm a little concerned that walking that might wind up with me underneath the snow. And this is partially because yesterday's snow prompted a feeling of dread when it comes to snow. Not just yesterday's snow, but a couple other snow stories I have. So I'm a little concerned about walking snow. So I'm going to walk back the way I came, take a couple pictures, and then head down the road up to Discovery Point in order to take some shots from there. Interesting day. Peace. Walking back to the road. Walking back. Now that one's clearly keep back because you might fall off the cliff. Oh my god, I've lost my way. This is not the track I came down. My track has been obscured. Where did this branch come from? Look at that. I think that's where I stepped. Pretty sure that's where I stepped. We are on top of trees. Found a secluded spot. Sometimes secluded. There's a group of hikers I had to wait to clear out. Took the seated picture. My feet up on the counter, embankment. God, my vocabulary fails. Just had to wait for it to be a little more private because I had a reflection I wanted to do. It was really hard leaving California. And by that, I don't mean it was hard to leave California. I mean, it was hard getting out of the state. I got over to Tahoe. I mean, first of all, I had to return to Bakersfield. I got out. I was having a wonderful time, and I was largely stress-free, and river rafting was great, and Stratosphere was great, Meow Wolf was great, some of the other things I did. And then I had to come back to Bakersfield. It grabbed a hold of me and went, come back. Which happens to a lot of people. I know a lot of people that leave Bakersfield, and then I used to refer to it as a vortex, watching them get out. And I know certain people that seem to have gotten out successfully and then just disappeared. Or took themselves off the grid, rather, so that Bakersfield couldn't find them. It's like the town is malevolent. But, and I felt that a lot when I was back in town. Then I got out, and I got over to Lake Tahoe, and up to Carson City, and I had a suggestion to come back into California, and since I needed to do the Bigfoot thing was on my list, I went ahead and did it since somebody called for it, because that's the improvisational nature of the trip. But it's like California. I got out before California noticed I was gone, and then California went, oh, he's back, hold on. And so it was difficult. I was headed north. I was about to cross the state line into Oregon, and I hit snow and had to go back into California. And I got out after a long day of driving, but then both hotels were hard to get out, to get into. It's like the border with Oregon rebuffed me, bounced me back. Group coming through. I will do a part 2 in a moment. It's funny, I'd been almost alone for like half an hour being here, and then all of a sudden there's traffic. So I feel like it's like California doesn't want me talking about this, and so it's like objecting, sending universal forces through to keep me from discussing the grasp that it has. So I'll try and be brief. And I wouldn't have thought about, I got bounced. I had problems with one hotel, and then I checked into the other one. I had some minor annoyances, but fought my way through it, trying to solve those. But the anxiety of having left Bakersfield is still melting off. I need to do some kind of physical activity, like I need to go on a hike or something, which I'd have to rent snowshoes for to do around here. But I broke through the barrier, the border from California into Oregon, and so now I'm in Oregon and things are settling out again. And I wouldn't have thought about it this way except for the conversation I had at the gas pump in Happy Camp. Because the woman there was telling me that she lives in Medford and she comes back to tribal land and she does this circuit on a regular basis, and that her life is so much better in Oregon. And she has noticed a change in California over the last 20 years, since she was a kid. I don't know how old she was. And she said the land and the people in California have become cold. Like in Oregon, you can get just about anything. People will provide basic needs, basic services. This is what she was saying. But in California, they're just cold. So it's interesting because I hear those complaints in Bakersfield a lot. People complaining that California has been ruined by Democrats, and I don't personally hold that view. There's good and bad on both sides of it. I think everybody goes, California should become its own nation, or it's just as stupid an idea when California proposes Cal-Exit as when Texas proposes their own secession, because it's precluded, is that the word, by the Constitution. So we would be declaring another civil war and we don't have a standing military. So all of that idea of Calexico, because we have such a great economy, yeah, we don't spend anything on military, and then we would have to. And then we would have pieces of California that would rebel from within California. And so you propose Calexit, and it's just a big mess waiting to happen. That's my own take on it. I'm interested in the statehood thing, breaking California into 6 different states, but whatever. So I was reflecting on that idea based on the conversation I had back in Happy Camp. And so I'm in Oregon now. Get to bleed off stress again, and it's worth continuing to consider this idea as I continue to move forward, because I don't think I'll be back in California any more than I have to until August. Although there are a couple of possibilities I may have to find a way back in the interim a couple of times. I'm going to try to avoid that. So for now, I'm out of California, and I've known California most of my life, but life is better outside of it, and I think I have to listen to that. I don't know. We'll see where it all takes us, huh? Cool. Gonna pack up here shortly and head out. Just want to get that one down. There's the obligatory government diorama right next to the window, so trying to reduce glare. I'm here, Rim Village. So it's this view. There's supposed to be a road that goes around, but it is closed for snow. And there's a road that goes this way. It's also closed for snow. So to leave, I have to go back this way and drop off the edge of the world. Phantom ship, that seems cool. Wizard Island.
That is.
I know I'm coming up on this really cool bridge that doesn't have anywhere to stop, so I guess I could pull off at the Lewis Road intersection. But there isn't really anywhere to park. I can't get a view. There we go.